What if I told you that your whole life you've been obeying the employee while ignoring the real boss? Most people never ask themselves this question: what's the difference between the brain and the mind? And because they don't understand the distinction, they live as puppets of their impulses, trapped in a cycle of reaction, fear, and paralysis. Let's break that cycle right now. Imagine your body is a computer. The brain is the hardware, physical, biological, limited by the tangible. It's that mass of neurons, synapses, dopamine, oxytocin, that reacts to stimuli like pain, pleasure, fear, or reward. But the mind is another story. The mind is the invisible software that gives orders, interprets reality, creates meaning, and can completely change the course of your life, if you learn how to use it. The big trap is believing that the brain is in charge. But no. The brain only executes what the mind programs. If your mind is ruled by limiting beliefs, unresolved trauma, and scarcity patterns, then your brain will simply reproduce that garbage on autopilot. And here comes the key: you can't govern your mind if your brain is weak. High-level software can't run on a slow, overloaded machine. That's why the first step to unlocking your true mental power is strengthening your brain, so it can execute the highest commands of your mind. You need to stop living like a passive observer and become the programmer of your own destiny. Now tell me in the comments. Do you feel that the one in charge of your life is your mind, or your brain's automatic impulses? Like this if this truth shook you. Share it with someone who needs to take control of their internal system. Have you ever wondered why some people remain calm in the middle of chaos while others fall apart at the first obstacle? It's not luck. It's not genetics. It's training. And listen closely: if you don't train your brain in discomfort, it will betray you when you need it most. Imagine a high-speed car race. You're inside the car, your heart pounding like a drum, sweat dripping from your hands, and everything can end with a single mistake. You know what separates the amateur from the professional? The one who trained their brain to stay strong under pressure. The same goes for long-distance runners. The body screams, the muscles ache, the mind tells you to stop, but a trained brain responds: not yet, keep going. Pressure doesn't destroy you. Pressure reveals how prepared you are. And this is where many lose the battle. They run away from pain, seeking comfort at all costs. Emotional air conditioning, flat roads, zero friction. But comfort doesn't train. Only discomfort does. That's why you must voluntarily expose yourself to friction. Wake up earlier. Face those tough conversations. Throw yourself into challenges that make you uncomfortable. These small battles forge a stronger nervous system, a sharper mind. And when life really hits, you won't shake. You'll respond like a trained warrior. Let's move forward. Have you ever wondered why you procrastinate, even when you know exactly what you need to do? It's not laziness. It's not lack of ability. It's biology. Your brain has a very clear mission: keep you alive. And to do that, it avoids energy expenditure at all costs. Yes, your brain is programmed to avoid effort. To it, anything that means discomfort, change, or energy use is a threat. That's why, when you choose to read a book instead of watching videos on your phone, you feel that internal resistance. It's no coincidence. Your brain wants to survive, not evolve. And this is the mistake many make. They think that if something is tiring or uncomfortable, it's not for them. But the truth is, if you don't reprogram that system, you'll stay stuck at the same level forever. Your mind wants to grow, but your brain wants to rest. The solution isn't to fight your brain, but to train it wisely. How? With progressive challenges. Start small. If you can't read for an hour, read for 5 minutes. If you can't run 3 kilometers, walk 3 blocks. But do it every day. Progressive repetition rewires the system. Over time, the brain stops resisting and starts adapting. Can you imagine getting your brain to want to study, train, read, or meditate, with the same excitement it has for chocolate? It sounds impossible, but there's a strategy powerful enough to reprogram your system completely. It's called exclusive reward. Your brain is a system of stimuli and rewards. It loves what gives immediate pleasure. That's why it pushes you towards social media, sugar, and comfort. So instead of fighting that, you're going to use it to your advantage. Here's the move: take something your brain loves, like sushi, chocolate, specialty coffee, a series you love, and link it exclusively to an activity you usually struggle to do, like reading, studying, or working on your purpose. Want an example? You only let yourself eat that chocolate after finishing a reading session. You only watch an episode of your favorite series after working out. You only drink that premium coffee after an hour of deep focus. And pay attention, no cheating. The reward must be real and exclusive, or the brain won't adapt. After a few days, the brain starts linking pleasure to that difficult activity. And then, the circuit changes. What once felt like punishment now becomes part of the reward system. This is how you hack your own biology. Tell me in the comments. What exclusive reward will you use to reprogram your brain starting today? Why is it harder and harder for you to read, concentrate, or simply sit still without checking your phone? It's not lack of discipline. It's addiction. Your brain is being hijacked by fast dopamine, and if you don't act now, you'll become a slave to shallow stimuli for the rest of your life. Dopamine is a powerful neurotransmitter. It's the chemical signal that says, I like this, I want more. And guess who knows this very well? Social media, video platforms, mobile games. They're designed to keep you trapped in cycles of instant gratification. Infinite scroll, notifications, likes, short videos. All of that feeds a brain that's becoming increasingly impatient, distracted, and weak. And here's the dilemma: truly transformational activities, like reading, deep study, or building a life project, don't give instant dopamine. On the contrary, at first, they're uncomfortable, frustrating, tiring. That's why your brain rejects them. Not because they lack value, but because they don't reward instantly. But don't give up. There is a way to take your power back. Go back to the previous chapter, and use the exclusive reward. When you associate demanding activities with authentic rewards, you build a bridge between effort and pleasure. And little by little, the brain adapts. What once felt boring becomes attractive. What seemed impossible to sustain becomes part of your daily routine. You have to train your brain like you would train a dog, with firmness, consistency, and reward. Have you been feeling more distracted lately? Forgetting simple things, struggling to finish tasks, or having trouble holding a conversation without checking your phone? It's not a coincidence. It's not just stress. It's the beginning of cognitive collapse, and it's happening globally. We live in the age of technological disruption. Too much information, stimuli everywhere, constant speed. And while technology brought us comfort, it's also destroying one of our most valuable abilities: deep focus. Here's a fact that should alarm you. For the first time in modern history, new generations are being born with less cognitive capacity than their parents. 8-year-old kids struggling to read full texts. Teenagers unable to stay focused without constant stimulation. Adults with chronic anxiety, indecisiveness, and ongoing mental fatigue. We're raising a generation that knows how to swipe, but doesn't know how to think. And if you don't act now, you'll become just another victim of this mental blackout. The solution isn't to reject technology, but to master it. Set boundaries. Create screen-free spaces. Do daily deep reading exercises. Meditate without stimulation. Disconnect to reconnect. Take back your power of attention like your life depends on it, because it does. Have you ever tried to change a habit and failed over and over again? It's not that you're not cut out for it. It's that you didn't understand the formula. The brain doesn't change through inspiration, it changes through repetition and progression. Look, every time you repeat an action, even a small one, you're carving out a new neural path. At first, it's weak, unstable, uncomfortable. But with time and repetition, that path becomes a highway. The problem is that most people want fast and permanent results without respecting the process. Repetition without progress is exhausting. Progress without repetition doesn't stick. That's why you need both. Start by repeating the small things. 1 page a day, 5 minutes of breathing, 1 difficult task before checking your phone. Then progress, go from 1 to 2, 5 to 10, simple to challenging. The brain, like a muscle, responds to continuous stimulus. It adapts, strengthens, improves performance, and starts operating more efficiently. Want to change your life? Don't look for miracles. Build routines. Repeat. Progressively. Until what once felt hard becomes second nature. Did you know your brain isn't designed to remember data, but to remember stories? That's right. Your mind lives off narratives. And if you don't choose the right ones to repeat, you'll end up believing tales that sabotage your entire life. Mental drives are like automatic buttons. They're programmed responses your brain activates in front of certain stimuli. And do you know how they're created? Through little stories you repeat without even realizing. I'm not good at that. This always happens to me. I've been like this since I was a kid. Sound familiar? Those phrases aren't truths. They're mental scripts. And the good news is, you can rewrite them. Start by creating your own short, powerful stories. For example, every day I have more focus. I'm training my brain to resist pressure. Hard things make me stronger. These phrases, repeated with intention, start to reshape your internal drives. Over time, your brain stops reacting out of fear and starts moving forward. Just like athletes visualize victory before competing, you must also build a mental story that fuels your identity and your decisions. Your life is a story. But you choose whether to tell it as a victim, or as the main character. Write this in the comments. What's the story you'll tell yourself every morning to activate your new mental drives? What if I told you that every excuse you repeat is like a slow poison that weakens your mind? They're not just words. They're invisible permissions you give your brain to avoid evolving. Excuses seem harmless. I don't have time. I'm just tired. I'll start when things calm down. But behind each one is a truth you're avoiding. And until you face it, you'll stay trapped in a cycle of justification, procrastination, and mediocrity. The brain gets used to shortcuts quickly. If today you let it escape discomfort with one excuse, tomorrow it'll come up with a bigger one. And without realizing it, you'll build a weak, inconsistent, reactive identity. Transformation begins when you decide to eliminate excuses and face the truth, even when it hurts. The truth isn't always comfortable. But it's freeing. Truth puts you face to face with what needs to change. And right there, in that exact moment, true growth begins. Try this exercise. Every time you're about to make an excuse, stop and ask yourself, what uncomfortable truth am I avoiding? Write it down. Face it. And act from there. Because power doesn't come from justifying. Power comes from owning it. Have you ever tried to build a new habit and failed, even though you had the intention, the knowledge, and even the motivation? The reason might not be you, but the environment around you. Habits don't grow out of thin air. They're built on the ground you live in. And if your environment is full of distractions, toxic people, negative stimuli, and zero structure, no healthy habit will survive there. It's like planting a seed in dry soil, full of trash, and with no sunlight. It doesn't matter how much you water it. It won't bloom. Behavioral science has already proven it. Lasting change depends on time and environment. Yes, you need consistency. 7 days to break the initial resistance. 21 days to create the pattern. 40 to reinforce it. And 66 to turn it into part of your identity. But if during that process you stay surrounded by things that pull you backward, you'll end up right back where you started. That's why you need to take inventory. Does your physical space support your focus or sabotage it? Do the people around you lift you up or drain you? Is your daily routine aligned with what you want to build? If you don't change your environment, it doesn't matter how many habits you try to form. You're doomed to repeat. Today is the time to redesign your surroundings like a lab for expansion. Choose what you listen to, what you watch, who you talk to, what you allow in. It's not just about willpower. It's about structural intelligence. After all, there's one truth you can't ignore. Your brain wasn't designed to make you happy. It was designed to keep you alive. And if you don't take conscious control, you'll live as a slave to your impulses, addictions, excuses, and surroundings. Today I showed you that there is another way. A way to train your brain so it works in your favor. A way to break free from fast dopamine, sabotaging stories, and the automatic programming you inherited. A way to build solid habits, powerful narratives, and an environment that supports your greatness. But nothing will change if you don't change. Real transformation doesn't start tomorrow. It starts now. And not with a grand revolution, but with small decisions repeated with purpose. So I ask you directly. What will you do today to activate your mind on another level? Write it in the comments. Make it public. Commit to it. And if this video touched your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Like it, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to keep receiving content that truly transforms. Your mind wasn't made to obey scarcity. It was made to create abundance. Choose to activate it. Choose to master it. Because the one who masters their mind, masters their destiny.